right. Well, this is part 2, you guys. So if you haven't heard part 1, please go to that. Welcome to As the Pages Turn. This is our good, bad, and the good, the bad, and everything above the sun for these conventions. And so now we're on the last one was bad organizers, good volunteers. This one is good organizers, bad attendees. So we have a theme. Oh my
Apparently,
goodness.
how come we don't just get good organizers and good attendees? That would be a nice thing to have.
That would be nice. Like, I think I've heard of a few that have done really good. As always, we are brought to you by technical difficulties.
Yes, you were unaware, but we were once again interrupted with technical difficulties. Right now, our recorder seems to want to play around with the echo.
Yeah, so fun times, but we are going to get this done, become hell or high water. So anyways, what we are going to talk about today this is part 2 of our conventions episode. We just talked about Once Upon a Con. This episode is going to be about Sinners and Stardust. And so first, before we get anywhere, let me just say I appreciate the staff at Sinners and Stardust, because for some of the fuck ups that we have seen doing this podcast and talking about book conventions, they were not the problem. They were part of the
it's
solution.
nice when the event organizer is not the problem for once.
And I appreciate that, because it's so hard when you are like covering this stuff and you just get downtrodden. You're like, oh my God, they are always the problem. But for once they're not the problem, and it's wonderful.
Yeah, especially since I am going to say this, we are authors. We depend on book conventions, and constantly seeing all these really, really bad ones make you feel disheartened, because me and I have to go to a lot of book conventions next year. We are really pushing our brands and stuff, and we are going to push the podcast at the conventions as well. So it's just disheartening to always see these, oh, here's a crappy one, here's a crappy one. So it's nice to see where the event organizers did their due diligence, and when problems did arise, they did at least respond and made plans to do something about it.
And I'm actually going to read their statement first, because, again, I appreciate that they were just, as soon as they heard what had happened, they addressed it. So Sinners and Stardust.
Yeah, they didn't clown around like some people.
Right. They did not fuck around. And everybody got paid, as far as I know. So nobody had payment issues. And Santa Claus could not mention and steal stuff.
Yes, they had antique Santa Claus equipment to keep him out. Only Santa Claus cosplayers could have gotten in.
I know, right? Okay, so at Sinners and Stardust, I'm going to say their statement first, because we're going to be talking about, there's going to be a lot of trigger warnings. So there's going to be SA. We're going to be talking about stalking and harassment and several things that are not appropriate. And
yes, I'm going to put a major warning label even before the video starts. So you guys should have seen that.
Yeah, so I want to say their statement first, because I want to put out the good things they are doing to fix this problem. And all right, so sorry, we had to pause for a brief second. So let me read what they said, because we're going to hear a lot of terrible things. And before we get to the terrible things, I want to show that they know what happened, they understood the assignment, and they followed through. So they are talking about how they are going to implement safety protocols for next year. They're going to increase security, clearly identified staff, so that if people need help, they can find them. Because I think that was the only issue that might have even been an issue, which I don't think is an issue, because who thinks that they really have to have like team outfits? I think if you're concentrating on making sure the convention's running good, I'm not going to say that you should have had perfect outfits. Like that's not something you would think about right off the bat, right? But again, because there was a beautiful ball, there was a lot of events for this event, and so I want them to, I don't want them to get flack. So because people were they want to make sure that people can find them in this type of situation again. So that's the good thing. They talked about how signage at each table will clearly indicate author and vendor's comfort level levels regarding photos, hugs, or physical contact, which will come up later because I guess we have to talk about how we don't molest authors. Okay, moving on.
Yeah. Or
There is going to be,
cosplayers.
we're going to get into this because again, with the messing with my cosplayer people, I swear to God, book talk people, I'm not playing with you. I'm not playing with you. Leave
We
my
will get
cosplayers
the other
alone.
book talkers and we will smack you.
I will have a smackathon and we're going to have just a lineup. So they're going to be glow in the dark wristbands specifically for the fantasy ball to make consent indicators visible in low light settings. Why the fuck we should need this as adults? Because evidently we all didn't learn in kindergarten not to fucking touch what's not ours.
You know,
Anyways.
Mia, I always thought just because somebody was attractive and looked good, that
Right.
doesn't automatically make them my boyfriend. I
Exactly.
would need to have
Exactly.
mutual consent and even start a conversation for that,
Oh my God.
not just rush a dude.
Right.
Anyway.
And so then the venue is going to provide signage reminding people because I guess, again, we cannot be adults about mandatory consent policies. Also, QR codes are going to be placed throughout the event, linking directly to the security team. So if anybody needs help, they get it immediately, which I love.
Yeah.
Sinners and Stardust, let me say thank you because on behalf of the people who got attacked and for anybody else who had to deal with this, thank you for recognizing that because technically that's not the QR codes for help. Like you don't automatically think about that, but that's really nice because in a dark ballroom where people are trying to get away with murder, like this is something where I think it's so important that they were like, you know what, we're going to make sure that because what happened at this event was a lot of these things happened in groups of people that in a very packed ballroom. So nobody
and it's
could
dark
see.
in the ballroom, so people aren't
And
going to pick up on it immediately. And there's loud
and
music
there were
playing.
and there were people who were masked. So that's how some of these people also got away with murder. And let me tell you, by the way, we have one person's name, but I'm going to actively be looking for more names because I'm telling you right now, every single person who participated in this that I hear about, you're on a blocked list, you're on a banned list. And if I have anything to say about it, you're not allowed. And I don't care if you apologize and I'm going to be real fucking upfront about this. This not understanding that you do not molest, touch, maul, grope, or do anything inappropriate to other people is something you learned in kindergarten. We literally
You
learned
learn
in
that in
kindergarten.
kindergarten. You learn that in high school. You hear these
Exactly.
lessons in middle school. By the time you even graduate or drop out of high school, that lesson should have been drilled in your brain.
Yeah. So I don't, you know what? The apologies after the fact, one person fessed up and did an apology. That does not excuse you. I'm sorry. And I may not post what you said because maybe I might give that person a pass. I'm honestly thinking about this. This is something I'm thinking about because I said before, I made a video about this on TikTok and I was not going to give anybody the fuck pass. A lot of other people have not fessed up to it. There has been a lot of people trying to defend this bullshit action. And I'm going to talk about you assholes too. Don't worry. You're on my list too.
We are going to hang you assholes out to dry.
Yes. So no full mask permitted for attendees to ensure visibility and accountability, unless they're medical, which makes sense. No roaming interactive entertainment performers anymore because of what happened.
Which I appreciate them doing because that was just messed up.
They like the fact that these people could not wander around without they thought they would be safe and they were not. It's just horrendous. And this is directed at the people who did this shit. You should be ashamed of yourselves. Flat fucking out. So
yes,
also,
we all don't get roaming cosplayers who probably do that fun stuff with interaction because of you.
And also because this is something me and Crystal have talked about before. And I don't know, did we do that episode about narrators? I thought we did. Did we not?
No, we haven't yet. We keep saying we will because we're talking to the narrators about it.
Okay, so we're going to slip that in for maybe our next book talk one. Because
we're going to need to talk about that one because I'm frustrated with it.
Yes, there has been a lot of boundary pushing with narrators, and they are included in the safety protocols now. So let me just read the safety protocol. So authors, narrators, vendors, their assistants, our influencers, and special guests will now have a secure, dedicated area during the ball with their own security. They may move freely between areas, but all attendees are not permitted in their area under any circumstances. If an attendee is caught trying to go to their secured space, they will immediately be removed and banned from future events, as they should be, because we're talking about fucking stalking shit. And then at the end, they say, by adding these steps, we are dedicated to keeping Sinners and Stardust events a space where all voices are valued, boundaries are honored, and community can thrive together. All of our love, Jen, Bethany, Joy, and Red. To you guys, thank you so much. I appreciate
thank you for taking responsibility for what happened and taking more precautions for your next event. I may even attend your event next year to be a vendor if.
I'm just saying that honestly, these guys are now on my book. I'm very much, if I can get the money, I definitely want to go. But these
Yeah.
guys are very much
That could
on
be
my
one of
book.
the events we meet up at and even do some live
Definitely.
podcasting.
That would be wonderful. We could do a podcast event there, maybe. Anyways, because let me tell you, as much as we have to highlight people who have fucked up, I very much want to highlight the people who did their job, who did what they were supposed to do, and didn't realize that people were going to be animals, and didn't realize they would have to have rules because people in mobs act fucking stupid. And
Yes,
now
because I even
now they learn.
saw one of the event organizers. I forget which one it was, but they said they apologized for what happened. They said they
Yeah,
thought people were going to be freaking grown-ups.
yeah,
And I
yeah,
understand, because I'm glad she doubled down that she said she thought people would be grown-ups, that she thought people would understand the definition of consent. But
yeah,
because there are bad actors who want to ruin it for everybody,
yes,
including not everybody there was an asshole. Not every guest was a jackass.
no,
And people like that who come in just ruin it for everybody, because everybody thinks, oh, everybody had fun, because everybody wants everybody to have fun. But to those special fools who want to cause problems,
yes,
I'm glad she said, via the fact she learned not everybody wants to be an adult, there will
yes,
be more precautions to make sure
yes,
to catch bad actors and permanently
yes,
ban them, because they have no business in our spaces. We're supposed to be having fun, not
yes.
having these discussions.
So, anyways, but let me give you a brief overview of what happened, you guys. So, Sinners and Stardust, people went to this event and they thought that they were going to. So we're back. Sorry, one last interruption. So basically, what happened is people went to this event, and evidently, a lot of people had a ball. A lot of people got to go get books from their favorite authors. There was an awesome ball that was decorated, had music, and was wonderful. That's
Yeah.
delightful, by the way. I love
And
hearing.
they gave
I
their
love hearing
people
a
food
ball
as
that went
well, per
right.
se, my memory.
Finally, we have a ball that went right, Crystal.
Yeah, it's so nice to hear about a ball
Right?
going right. You always hear about the
I would
ones
love
with no
it.
decor, no food for the guests, no nothing. It's like, what the freak,
And
people? Is it
Steve's,
really
not
that
only were
hard?
Steve's parents there, Steve's whole family was there. This was a decked out event.
Yeah, the
So this
entire
was
Steve Fit clan just showed up, which was very nice.
Yeah. So at this ball, we had several dark romance authors. We had a cosplayer who is also a music artist, and his name is Animus, and his tag name is ethereal. Sorry, I cannot pronounce words today.
We'll
Ethereal,
be putting probably the information for
yes,
his socials where
ethereal
he does
treason,
his
and
entertainment
so.
stuff
Oh,
for you to see.
yes. So during this event, and I'm going to summarize and then I'm going to read a statement because H.D. Carlton, who's another author, talked about this and what happened and brought it up because she was very upset, rightfully so. And
Yeah, it
so
was understandable.
so I have the statement in front of me. So I'm going to read her statement, but to summarize, basically, and I'm not fucking kidding. So trigger warning, if you
Yes,
did
we're
not hear the
doing
original
trigger
trigger
warnings
warning,
now. There's a trigger warning
trigger,
before this. There was a trigger warning
yes.
when we got started. We're giving you another trigger warning because this is
Trigger
not pleasant.
warning, there is essay and there is inappropriate stuff, and this is not okay. So basically what happened was this performer who was dressed up with body paint and doing his cosplay awesomeness was groped not once, not twice, several fucking times. He had, I believe, an air tag. I'm not sure if it was his assistant or another cosplayer's assistant. I think it was his, and it'll say in this statement. I'm pretty sure it was his. Somebody tried to put an air tag on his assistant so that they could track him back to his goddamn motherfucking hotel. You fucking stalkers! Is all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, they put the air tag
And
on him, but from what he found when they discovered the air tag, it looked
oh,
like it wasn't working.
no, it was working, but
Oh,
they
it
took it
was.
off because
Oh, that's
that's how
right.
they got alerted that it was on them because they got alerted via some other device and found out. And then on top of that, an author who had
Yeah, I
evidently
was
given
thinking about how the person said nobody showed up. That's what I'm thinking
Yes,
of. That's
but
why I was
that's because
thinking it
they took
wasn't
it off.
working.
They took it off before they gave it to the hotel, or they got back to the hotel. So, anyways,
Yeah.
and then on top of that,
Either way,
evidently
nobody showed
someone,
up to their room, thank God.
thank goodness, that could have been a whole different thing. And then evidently an author had given out some adult toys as winnings or merchandise. And
Yeah,
there were people who evidently decided in the main hotel room to do inappropriate things with walls and shit because that's a public hotel room. So why don't we debase it? I don't even know. And
that
then
makes no
people
sense to me.
and then the last issue is that people were grabbing onto authors without their consent, not checking with them. One of the authors said that they were having a conversation with somebody else. Somebody was trying to pull them away. They told them politely no, that they were, they're having a discussion. They kind of ignored it. And the person did not get the hint, did not evidently understand the fucking word no, and still tried to literally drag them to somewhere else to talk to them. Because again, we forgot the basic lesson in kindergarten where just because we see something and it's not ours, we don't touch it.
Yeah, you do
If
not
it's a
touch
body,
people's things, and you do not
if
touch
it's
people,
especially
not
if it's
without
someone's
consent.
body. If it's someone's body, you do not touch. You do if it's not yours,
I
hey,
don't, and
don't fucking
also,
touch it.
Mia, I'm going to say this because this aggravates me.
Mm-hmm.
These people who felt the need to fill up that cosplayer probably believe in that old nonsense that you cannot essay a man or R word a man. Understand this.
Yeah.
If he says no, I don't care if it's a man or a woman. In general, when a person tells you
Yeah.
no, you have no right
No
to
means
touch them,
no.
and you shouldn't assume
No
beforehand
means no.
that you have a right to
And
touch
here's the
them.
thing.
No means
A
no.
lot of this and here's the thing. There were several people who talked about this on TikTok, and I had a fit about it on my TikTok. Here is my response, because we're going to talk about some of the responses, and baby are we going to talk about some of the responses. But here is my thing about this, is that there was a lot of assumed boundaries, and these were readers, by the way. So readers, this is kind of where your people are on the hook, because there was a lot of assumptions that because authors write dark romance, because you have cosplayers who are dressed up as dark romance characters, that somehow this implies consent. I cannot stress this enough. That is not how the fuck it is. I don't care if I write about, and I literally have it in my first book, and I use myself as the example. In my first book, I have two of my main characters joking about how the Titanic is going down because it's kind of, one of them's a god and one of them's the Grim Reaper. I mean, what else are they going to joke about?
Yeah.
And literally, does that mean that I expect you as the reader to go out and cause the Titanic event and then joke about it? No, because I expect you as a goddamn motherfucking adult to be mentally sound and have your shit together. And also, for anybody trying to say that we should expect mental issues and that we are somehow at fault, we're gonna yell about that later. We're gonna address that because that's gonna come up.
Yeah.
Because I
That
saw
is
some of
not something
y'all.
you just automatically say like it's a get out of free
No.
card.
Yeah, no, we're shut that shit down right now. This is called fiction. I don't know if you've understood this word or have heard this word before, because some of y'all seem real fucking confused.
They
But
can't
fiction
understand the difference
is
between
not real.
fiction and reality. Although
It's
I admit
really
I
fucking
would
difficult.
prefer if a lot of this stuff just stayed in our damn fiction books.
Right. And on top of that, and I do understand that the BDSM community, that a lot of their stuff gets put into dark romance books. And played out. And let's not talk about 50 Shades of Grey, because I have 50 Shades of fucking vomit
Let's
with that
not.
book.
I am worn
Let's
out
not.
from reviewing The
But
Mister, which was written by the same author as 50 Shades of Grey, but
it's
I got
it's
worn out by
ridiculous.
that one and
But
hearing synopsis 50 Shades. No more, please.
it basically, here's the thing, just because it's in a book does not give you permission to do it. And now here's the thing, nobody is saying that you fantasizing about whatever is wrong, because again, fantasies are inside the head, and that's fine, but
It's
you are
acting out
not.
the fantasies
It's
and
just,
without consent. That's
but
the
here's the
problem.
thing, consent. That is the biggest issue. If you do not have somebody's consent, you cannot and should not assume. And there was a lot of assumptions about boundaries, and all of it. All of it was assumed. And you need to understand, as the reader, that we are narrators, especially we as authors who wrote these wonderful, spicy books, are there to do a job. Narrators. And by the way, we love readers. We love you guys. We are here for you guys. But that does not give you the right to fuck with us. And
Yes, to the
narrators,
readers who do not want to understand what adulting things are, that you have no right to just assume that you're allowed to do all of that just because we wrote it in a book.
and on top of that, narrators who do our book, yes, they have wonderful voices, and I fucking love them for it, because they bring my characters alive. That does not mean, and I'm telling you right now, I am telling you right now, if I ever go to an event, and especially if I have narrators near me who are my narrators, do not fuck with them, because
Do
I will
not
be the
mess with
first
our
person in your
narrators.
face.
We are very
Do
protective of
not.
them. They bring our
Do
books to
not.
life and they are our
I'm telling you
friends.
right now, if I had been the fuck at this event, I would have been allowed to stitch in the room. There would have been a lot of me yelling and a lot of security, because I would have been up in people's faces being like, because at one point somebody was grabbing his frock. Are you fucking serious? How the fuck old are you? Are you fucking 15? Do you not understand fucking boundaries? Excuse the absolute fuck out of you. Do not fuck with my people. I'm telling you right now, I will be the loudest bitch in the room. The shit will be shut down real quick, or there will be a lot of people around me because they will be hearing my very loud voice for several miles away. And let me tell you, I was in theater. I can enunciate and get real loud real fast if I need to. So do not fuck with people near me. But also, this should not have fucking happened. So anyways,
Yeah, it should
before
not
I get
have,
more,
which is why I feel bad for the event organizers. They did hire
yes,
security, and
they
you expect it
they
not
just
to get this
yeah.
far.
Well, and a lot of what I heard after the fact, and I'll read the statement in a minute. But what I heard after the fact is that they, because it was so dark, because they kind of were going for a theme, they some of the people couldn't find security because of how dark it was, and people didn't have, like, I guess the shirts didn't stand out, which is why they talked about they have to get new shirts and stuff to kind of identify who is who, and that's why they're putting up QR codes too. But let me read the statement from H.D. Carlton, and then we're going to discuss. So basically, H.D. Carlton is talking about how she had to make a post that I'm frankly pretty goddamn upset she has to make. No fucking shit. And she's basically addressing this to the readers who don't understand consent and boundary. She's talking about how a lot of people know her good friend Animus, who's also Ethereal Treason. He attended a signing, and he's a music artist, and so he was at Sinners and Stardust, and he had a heartbreaking experience. And so basically, and I really love what she says, so I'm going to read this part. So listen, he's a man, right? But do we think that means it's okay to put your hands all over him without consent, or put your
The
hands in
answer
his
is no.
waistband, or down his pants, or touch his dick? Hello? I
Absolutely not.
swear. By the way, that's defined as SA,
It
sexual assault,
is.
people. If you don't fucking know that, again, I shouldn't have to tell you, but touching other people's body parts, any body parts, not the fuck okay.
You are not
So,
allowed to grope somebody without their
no.
consent. So just get that bullshit out of your head.
Oh, it gets better. No, I mean, it gets fucking worse, is what I mean. Do we think it's okay to quite literally back him into a corner, touch all over him to the point that he literally cannot tell how many hands are on him and whose were whose? Do we think it's okay to send him into an actual panic attack because of this? Furthermore, do we think it's okay to interrogate him and insist he detail how he would kidnap a woman despite him repeatedly saying he wouldn't, and that,
And
this shit
ask
is
him
fiction?
inappropriate questions and
Trash
tell him
talk?
inappropriate things.
Trash talk my books to him, try to get him to join in, and then attempt to follow him when he tries to get away. He had sweat resistant black paint airbrushed on his chest and was told the only thing that will move is body oils. Why did this man end the night with almost all of it rubbed off and a handprint smeared across his chest? I want y'all to seriously sit with yourselves and your actions and ask yourselves if you would be okay with a strange man doing this. And we're going to talk about double standards because that's going to come up too. Now, the second part of the statement. And if that wasn't enough, during the time of this mob attacking him, another author received a notification that an air tag was tracking him, which showed it on his person all the way to his hotel room. Oh, wait, it did just the hotel room. My bad. I thought it hadn't. And he knows how air tags work and that close ones can trigger notifications. This was not the case. Also, he got notifications way later because he had no signal at the event and it didn't come through until he got signal again. This is literally sickening, and I am ill that someone might have planted a tracking device on him.
That
You
is
guys
very
do know
disturbing when you
it
think
is
about it. That's
fucking
just
disturbing.
disgusting and disturbing. I
You
mean,
guys
what
do
the hell
know
is wrong with you that you're going to go and air tag somebody?
exactly. You guys do know that these books are fiction, right? We enjoy these books because they're fiction. We do not condone these actions in real life. And while
It's
it's
fun
okay to
in
act out
fiction,
your
but not in real
fantasy,
life. It's never fun in real life.
exactly. It is not okay to ask a complete stranger to do so or take it up on yourself to sexually assault him. Like, what the fuck? I'm incredibly disappointed that he was treated this way. I brought him into this space because I trusted he would be safe with y'all, and he was not. And then on top of that, there was another part. Is it this one? And then people, I guess, were trying to blame. I guess some people were trying to blame the team around him. And I'm sorry. First of all, that's some bullshit. But second of all, they literally got separated. So how the fuck would they know? And then third, there was another part where, again, an author had given out, either sold or given out an adult toy that had been won, that then somebody tried to use on her. And then on top of that, they used it in the hotel room and different, like in the hotel public space to like do shit with because they thought that was funny, I guess.
Why
And then
would
on
you
top
find
of
that
that,
funny? I will never
I don't
understand.
fucking
Again, if
know.
maybe you're into those, but do
Yes.
that in your own private space. Everybody else don't want to
Yes.
be included.
And then some of the stories happened where, and these aren't listed in this, but I heard other stories where authors, like I said, were grabbed, touched without consent, boundaries were not respected, and people were just basically rabid animals. And let's discuss now because, oh, sorry, wait, before we get into the actual what the fuck, somebody actually admitted to this. So somebody finally popped up because I guess somebody found a photo because there was a lot of videos and photos, but it's like really dark, so you can't tell who's all who. But somebody realized that her face was out there and got caught. So this person said, and I'm gonna be nice. I'm not gonna name her right now, but this may change because honestly, I'm really fucking
Well,
pissed. And
I
at
know
the
the
very
Sinners
least,
and Stardust people probably already have her on the list because they did say they were
yeah,
going to make sure to get a list of names as
yeah,
best they could, and these people are not allowed back at any of their events ever.
yeah. So on top of this, this person talked about one holding myself accountable and I'm deeply sorry and I made some people uncomfortable. Something I thought was just harmless fun, where a lot of others did as well, would not be viewed the same way as everyone else. It will never happen again. We make mistakes because we're human and we learn from them. And I promise this was a teaching moment. And then she goes on to say, it was in no way me trying to be malicious, but I see that it was. I did not mean to be that person in any way, shape, or form. And I hate that I did that to anyone attending the dance. Again, here's my thing. Honestly, here's why I'm not giving this enough fucking freedom. Because here's the thing. The only reason you're fucking talking is because somebody caught a fucking picture of you and put it out there. So you got caught.
Yeah.
You got caught. So okay, you got caught. You apologize. I hope he doesn't accept an apology. He doesn't have to because I'm assuming she was one of the people that fucked with him. This shit is
She
not
might
okay.
have been. I don't know what she
It,
did, but either way,
and she
lady,
doesn't
it's
say.
good to apologize, but seriously, grow the hell up. I don't know why you assumed. I don't know if you saw other people doing it and you thought it was okay.
Yeah.
Hon, it's not okay. You should have known that even before going in there. We tell little kids this all the time. A grown ass adult should get this concept.
It's just astounding to me that people thought this shit was okay. And I will talk about because I made a post about this, right? Because I was real fucking pissed. I was really pissed. And then it got worse. And so, yeah, let's talk about some of the responses to this because there were some literal, actual fucking bullshit responses. And I got some words for you all. So let's talk about, give me just a second. So here we go. So for the author who got basically touched and pulled away to different situations. This was a response posted by Maddie. Don't know who the fuck she is. Don't really care. She's on my block list now. What did she expect when her first book is literally the same exact scenario? She created this.
That's
That
some
was an
bullshit.
actual fucking response. That
That
was a
ain't
fucking response.
bullshit.
Oh
What do you mean
no,
she
it gets
actually
better.
fucking created it? That's some grade A bullshit. She put it in a book. She didn't say, let's go do that in real life.
Exactly. And then somebody else, and this person, by the way, I'm going to say their name because fuck you. Author Raven Waters, also on my block list now. Welcome to my block list. It is growing. Author Raven Waters, somebody who's an author, Crystal, you would assume that they would have heard the whole situation and been at least sympathetic.
Sadly, not all of our
No.
authors are smart. And that person's going on my
Not
block
smart.
list too, not just you.
Yeah, my opinion, if these authors would stop romanticizing this type of behavior to mentally ill people, what do you expect to happen? If you consider dark romance the way you find pleasure, you need professional help. Oh, baby. I cannot tell you how pissed I got. Because, by the way, somebody else, a very nice commenter brought this to me because she literally was like, did you see what this person said? And I'm like, no, I did not. Please show me. So excuse the fuck out of me. So first of all, let's talk about the responses because those were a few that I saw. There was a lot more. There was a lot of people in the book talk community trying to defend this. Not a lot. I mean, I shouldn't say a lot. Sorry. I will say that there was at least 20%, 30% responses I saw. So it's not like half. But it was a big enough majority of responses of people trying to justify action because of the genre dark romance. And Crystal, we talked about this. We
We did
discussion
extensively. I think we've been talking about it for 2 weeks.
I'm not playing with this, you guys. Yes, there is a genre dark romance. There's also erotic horror. There's also Stephen King fucking paranormal like, what are you talking about? Okay, so Stephen King writes a book. Actually, literally, Stephen King wrote a book called Misery, which if you haven't heard of it, fucking awesome movie with Kathy Bates, by the way. He wrote this book about this author getting kidnapped because he hadn't written a book in years, and she wants him to write a sequel. She wants him to write it a certain way. So this crazy person goes out of her way to kidnap this author, do terrible things to him to get this book. So again, and what's funny is Stephen King wrote about this, so I feel like y'all should have learned this lesson, but I guess not. Yes, there is dark romance. Yes, there's erotic horror. Yes, there is taboo. These genres and the things done in those genres, just because you read it on a page does not give you permission. And I'm sorry, the bullshit author Raven Watts, whatever the fuck your name is, get the fuck out of my author party, okay? Because evidently you must write, I'm assuming you write some like pure Hallmark type shit, which
I
honestly,
guess.
I know
I don't
people,
know, but that doesn't give you any business
it
saying, oh,
doesn't.
ha ha ha,
It
and all that
doesn't.
other bullshit. No.
I don't care what you write, honestly. You can fuck off a cliff, because my response to this is the same response I had on TikTok, which is, excuse the fuck out of me. First of all, you heard that a man was literally almost stalked to his hotel. God knows what could have happened to him. You heard that a man was literally groped to the point that his literally body proof oil that's not supposed to come off without body oils was literally gone. You heard that an author literally was dragged away to talk to somebody because they didn't get instant gratification. And then you heard about someone doing shit in a hotel room, and you thought the appropriate response was, well, you guys know that you write to mentally ill people, so you really should stop. Excuse me? What?
No.
Well, I expected you to
No.
be smarter, so you're not. So maybe you should stop talking, because my assumption is, if you're smart enough to understand this shit, then you should be smart enough to talk about it, and you're not. So my assumption back at you is to not talk anymore. Thank you.
Yeah.
Because this is bullshit. This is utter this is what this is. By the way, we're gonna call it what it is: victim blaming. Y'all are
It
trying to sit
is.
there and victim blame. And I know. And here's the thing: another friend of mine, Bree, I love her. She is a passionate reader who is very. By the way, she's also a teacher. I fucking love this woman. She
Mm-hmm.
is very quick to call people to the carpet for fucking up. And she had a really good video on TikTok, and I will link it, is talking about how a lot of this shit, because she was like, kind of the response was, well, how could this happen? Oh my God, this is so terrible. Okay, let's talk about book talk. And I have actually talked about this. There's a part of book talk that I call fake book talk. And this is the
Yeah.
only thing I can kind of
They're
call
just
them.
toxic, to be
And
honest.
these are the people who endorse what's his fuck rugby boy. These are the people who will run up to him and be like, leave your wife, come for me, blah, 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 and buy his book just because they saw him. He's pretty, and oh my God. These are the
Yeah.
same types of people who will, actually one of them was an author. The chick who was on the Kelly Clarkson show, and they were like, oh, she's the queen of book talk. That chick, she was the one
Mm-hmm.
who made inappropriate comments to several hockey players based on books that I don't know if she wrote or other people wrote. I believe she wrote them. I could be, yeah, she wrote them, because she got tickets to one of the games, because they're like, oh my God, you wrote about our thing. And then she made a lot of fucking inappropriate comments to the actual hockey players. And the wives were like, hello, we're standing right here. What are you talking about? So anyways, here's the thing. I understand that reality, when you watch a movie, when you read a book, a lot of us use that to escape. I understand that. I understand, because I had not the greatest childhood. So I understand that books are a refuge and an escape for a lot of us. But you guys need to understand that the rules in kindergarten are the same fucking rules you go by now. That means consent. Consent is very fucking important. Also, how, like, everybody's trying to blame dark romance for this shit. Excuse me? How is it? I'm sorry, it's a fictional genre. How are you going to sit there and say something that is a fucking fictional genre is an excuse for you to molest somebody? Because that's what this is. When you put hands on somebody, that's molesting. Okay, thanks, bye. That's sexual assault. Okay, thanks, bye. When you do that, I don't care. And I get, because they did say there was a lot of alcohol and a lot of people were having fun. I understand that. But again, even
Yeah,
with
but even
alcohol,
when you're
that is
out,
not a
you should drink
justification.
responsibility. I'm not giving you people that pass. You're old enough
No,
to know that alcohol can
no,
alter your brain. And even if you're
yeah,
having fun, you need to be careful of how much you consume because you may
yeah.
do something you will very much regret or not remember.
And the thing is, like, and then authors and staff, and then also narrators, because from the sounds of it, there were also narrators who had some issues. And this has been something that we will actually do an episode on this, because this is something we've been wanting to talk about, because our narrator friends have had a lot of problems. Our narrator friends have, and it's not all the time, but they have people who push boundaries because, oh, your voice. And it's so wonderful. You know what? By the way, first of all, they're doing a job. That is a job that they've chosen to take up. They are getting
Yeah.
paid for it. So you sexually harassing them, not the fuck okay. But
Yeah,
by
and the
the way, this
sexual
is
harassment was not a part of their damn
no.
job description. They never agreed to that.
Yeah. And I think this goes to a deeper problem actually in our society, because this has come up with movie stars. This has come up with, there is a part of our society that, because we like deify actors and now narrators and authors and cosplayers and all of these types of people for the wonderful things they do, actors have enough money to hire bodyguards, but we in the
Yeah.
indie market do not. So,
We
and
don't have that
narrators
kind
do
of money.
not. So, like, how are you going to, like, they can't have security. They can't protect themselves a lot of times because they don't have the money to do it. And they should not have to, because you as a reader do not, just because you read it in a book, that is not a fucking excuse for
It
you to put
really
hands on
isn't.
people.
If you
And
want to
then,
do something like that after you read a book, go find somebody who
yeah.
consented to do that with you. Don't
And
just
on
grab
top of
somebody and
that,
assume.
let's talk about, because there is a double standard also in our society. And I've talked about this before because I have a son. There's a double standard that if it happens to a woman, it's 100% not okay. But that women can do the same thing to guys because it's just not that serious. I'm sorry. That's bullshit. That is
Yeah,
such
as I
bullshit.
said
I can't even
earlier,
talk
like
about
Mia's
it.
highlighting again, and I said earlier, it doesn't matter if it's a man or a woman. Unless
That's
they give
not.
you their consent, leave them the hell alone.
And my thing is, if you would not want somebody to do this to your brother or sister, if you wouldn't want somebody to go up to your brother or your father or your husband or your significant other who might be of a male persuasion, whatever, and you wouldn't want them to have hands put on their crotch, why the fuck are you doing it to other people? Excuse
Literally,
me?
what the hell is
Excuse
wrong with
me.
you?
I don't fucking get it. And I am so appalled. I feel so bad for Animus. I like my heart breaks for him. The fact that this poor guy went to like show his art off, put it out there, be kind of part of the entertainment, let people have a good time. And you all could not have enough fucking respect to not put hands on him. It should not have to be said. By the way,
It's
Sinners
really
and
not that
Stardust
hard of a
should
concept, to be
not have
honest.
to make they should not have to make fucking security rules. This is not, and I get it that book conventions are the next thing, because theater was a thing, and then we had something before that, and I mean, it's been going back to the Greeks with Greek plays. I get it. When entertainment is put up, people think the rules don't matter, but they do. They're actually more
Yeah.
important, because we are in a field where there's shit we write about, like erotic horror. I wouldn't want anybody to do erotic horror. And the fact that y'all want to put responsibility on the authors, first of all, victim blaming, but second of all, the
Yeah.
actual goddamn nerve. Like, this is
Literally, you
not,
can't just go and say, well, you wrote it, so I'm in top. No, just because somebody writes something
yeah.
doesn't mean that's permission to go and do that.
It is not the fuck okay. It is not the fuck okay, you guys. And I don't understand why this has to be said. And the thing is, like my friend Bree was saying, she was talking about how this has been a problem, how we have people on Book Talk who online thought the rules didn't apply to them. And so why is anybody surprised that they would think that the rules apply to them at this book convention and fantasy ball? And
Well, they
she
need
has
to
a good
learn
point.
the rules do apply to them.
Exactly. Because here's the thing. I know that in a certain spaces, people have been getting away with a lot. You get to push boundaries and it's okay and ha. And there are some lives where that's appropriate. And there's some, like in real life, there are BDSM clubs, there are adult clubs, there are places, there are times and places. But a book
Yeah,
convention,
but
not
that's
fucking
where
one
you
of
go,
them.
where if you want to do that, go to one of those places where they
Yeah.
give you their permission. But don't expect book conventions to
Yeah.
be where you get that. A lot of people, they're coming there because they like reading this stuff and everything. Not
Mhm.
everybody comes to these things with this idea that they're allowed to perform their whatever fantasy they got from reading a book.
Yeah, it is just appalling to me. And the fact that an author or any author would be okay with this and try to victim blaming, by the way, let's talk about victim blaming, because
Victim
society
blaming,
likes to do that
aka
shit.
not taking responsibility for your own actions.
Yeah, because everybody wants to be like, well, they read dark romance, so the authors did it. I'm sorry. By the way, a lot of shit that authors write about is not new. I don't know why y'all think we're the ones who
Yeah, you
invented
know
dark
what? I'm going to
romance.
take a little moment from a very old book. I'm not trying
Okay.
to go deep into religion, people, but a lot of people like to quote the Bible nonstop for any reason.
Yeah.
So I'm going to bring the
Yeah.
point. When Adam and Eve, when Eve apparently gave Adam the fruit and everything, even in Sunday school, my Sunday school teacher said, you see how Adam said Eve just gave me this fruit and I ate it, and tried to put all the blame for the incident on her?
Yep. Yep.
Victim blaming, even with
Yep.
Cain and Abel. He's like,
Yep.
God's asking, where's your brother? He's like, I don't know. He's not my keeper. I'm not his keeper.
Yeah.
Trying to
Yeah.
push away responsibility. If anything, push things on his brother. If it shows you even in the early text that, hey, victim blaming, not a good idea,
Yeah.
maybe
And
you should
that's the
take that
thing.
concept.
Is that we have a portion of society that thinks, and this is why rape are fucking gotten away with. There's a lot of states that do not and did not until 2018 have any kind of serious repercussions for rape and
Yeah,
sexual assault,
which is sad.
because of the fact
But
that we
people
have a
should take
portion
this
of
seriously.
society that sits there and says, oh, well, you must have asked for it. You must have worn a short skirt. You must have worn a revealing top. You must have done something to deserve it, because why would this person act this way? And by the way, here's the answer. They're a fucking asshole. That's why they act that way.
Nobody
They're
did
an asshole.
anything to deserve it. You're just a dickhead
Exactly.
who likes to invent scenarios where you're justified to do
Exactly.
whatever you want. Guess what? You're fucking not.
So let me tell you right now, the book talk that I'm a part of, we do not put up with this shit. We do
We
not
really
victim
don't.
blame. We do not allow justifications for stupid shit. And I'm telling you right now, a lot of the people I know, there's some people who I think are a little bit quieter, but a lot of the people I know, if you do shit, any of this shit, and I'm telling you this, I'm trying to say this with love, okay? Because I love readers, and
I'm
I've been a
saying
reader
this
for
with a
many
point
years.
of adult authority via the
Right.
fact that we're grown, and I know a lot of people who don't do this are probably chiming in with us, saying, be grown, you know better, act
But
better.
here's the thing, is that I love readers and I want you to have a blast and I want you to have fun. And you know what? If you have consent to give a hug to an author, I mean, I'm kind of a hugger, so I may not always want to hug people. That's kind of a touch and go thing for me sometimes, but usually I like to hug people. But am I gonna, to be fair, I have told a lot of my friends I will tackle them, but I also know half the time that's just jokes, because I know some of them are not touchy feely. And so I would not assume as being a touchy feely person that they want me to give them a hug. So I'm going to ask, hey, can I hug you? Because I have a lot of friends, even just that consent. Because here's the most important point I can boil this down to. If it is not yours, don't fucking touch it. If it is not on your body, don't fucking touch it. And if it's something on another body, don't fucking touch it unless you know you have permission. And I say this also as someone who has a significant other who attracts women to him like flies. So I say this as somebody who most of the time I will tolerate that a lot of people love to talk with him, and he's very interesting and he's adorable and he's very cute. But I'll also tell you, the first person who tries to fucking mess with him is also going to have to deal with me. I don't fucking play with this shit. Do not, if I am in a room, I'm telling you, readers, I love and respect you. But the first person that you touch inappropriately, the first person you do not ask consent of, and especially when it comes to narrators and cosplayers, the first person that you do shit to that you are not supposed to be doing shit to, I will be calling you out. I don't care if you bought my book. I don't care if you
don't
want my
have
book.
permission to slap the shit out of you for doing that, then maybe you don't have permission to do it to begin with.
Right? I'm just saying, we're not playing with this shit. I'm not playing with this. And there's a lot of people who agree with me. And for anybody out there who's victim blaming or trying to justify these actions, maybe book talk is not the space for you. Because I'm letting you know right now, there is a lot of us who agree on this. And I'm telling you, I know so many authors.
Really, the majority of us agree on this. The ones who are more bad actors are more the outliers.
Exactly.
And
So
they
I'm
wonder
telling
why
you
they
right
get banned all
now,
the time.
and a lot of us are really good at words. So do not force us to be the person who has to stand up, because we will be real quick to do so. And the thing is that, and it was said after the ball, because a lot of people were like, where were your friends? Where were this? I'm sorry, it's a big ball. People get separated, shit happens. But also, you shouldn't have been doing it in the first place. So
Exactly.
it's nobody else. fault. It's your fault. And you should not have been doing it. And I cannot stress this enough. And we'll have a narrator episode because narrators have had to go through a lot of shit too. And I'm telling you
They
again.
have, especially people making inappropriate comments just because they find their voice smexy. And I'm just like, I have come across a lot of narrators who I do find their voice extremely attractive, but I don't go and type that nasty mess in the comments. They didn't ask me to. They didn't go and say, oh, just do some weird smex fantasy in my comments. I'm cool. No, all they were doing was reading a damn book. Why don't you sit back and enjoy the story or get the fuck out?
Exactly. And my problem with this is that a lot of people are coming in with assumptions that, oh, well, they write this, so they must be okay with it. Or the narrators are saying this stuff. They must be okay with it. Or the cosplayers are wearing the costume. They must be okay with it. Those assumptions are just that, your assumption. That is not the fucking
and
fact.
all true people. Just because because you even have people who write a lot of erotica stuff, but they don't want to actually do that in real life. It's not their thing. And you need to really get consent and find out what the actual person is cool with, not what you assume or just fantasize about them being cool with. Because in that case, you're just trying to get somebody to adhere to your fantasy and you're not trying to know who they are.
Yeah, you're trying to force your fantasy on somebody else, and that's not okay. And I'll tell you, because like I said, I'm kind of a touchy-feely person depending on the day, but I know fellow authors who are very uncomfortable with basic like hugs and until they know somebody, which, very understandable. So again, you cannot, even if it's something as simple as a hug, and I know it doesn't sound serious, but if you times 2, and that's why I tell people times 2 to anything you do, because any action you put out there times 2, because if you're doing it, maybe somebody else is doing it, and so then that adds up. So don't fucking assume, and please do not assume that your ass will not be checked, because I'm telling you right now, the more and more that authors and narrators and people hear about this, we will start getting very in your face. We are not going to play with boundaries and consent. This is not, and by the way, I'll tell you right now, there were several authors who were so pissed that they were like, you all should have been arrested. You should have been brought up on charges, because that's how bad some of that shit was. And they have been
trying to find the names of people.
Yep.
To protect what a person loves most, sometimes they have to hide it or them. Sadly, not all secrets get to remain secret forever. Realms, the Hidden Fairy, available now.
Understand, Book Talk, we are active in trying to find bad actors because the majority of us aren't cool with it. We like having a nice, safe space where authors and readers can talk about books, talk about even, certain types of books or anything else and have fun with it. We do not like our space being violated by people who feel entitled.
And I'm telling you this right now because I'm very proactive when it comes to these kind of issues. So if I know that you're somebody who groped anime, if I know that you're somebody, and I swear to God, I find out who the fucking AirTag person is, I will happily report that to the world. I will get on fucking news shows and report that shit. Don't think I'm going to be a quiet bitch
that
when it
name
comes
like
to
wildfire.
Shit.
Don't think we just blast
should
at
be charged
people
for
who
fucking
throw poor
stalking.
events. We will put you on blast for that.
I'm sorry, the state I live in, I fucking love it because we have very harsh stalking laws. Stalking is fucking serious. You don't get to put an AirTag on somebody and be like,
literally. What were you thinking?
That they could break into his hotel room and do shit to him. That's what I'm assuming, because I'm gonna assume you're doing the worst fucking shit possible if I find that shit. Because I'm telling you right now, if I were to let you do this shit to my kids, what the fuck makes you think I'm gonna let you do this shit to my friends? I don't care if I haven't met them one time. I don't care if I've only known these people a month. I even said in my video, I may not know this person. I give no fucks. The first person I see who looks uncomfortable with somebody touching them, I will happily be the person who says, what the fuck are you doing? Because do you not see their face? Do you not see their body language? And why are you assuming you can touch them? This is not okay. I don't care if I'm the loudmouth who's not supposed to be there.
When they're screaming for you to leave them alone. That's it. Yes. That's even the biggest sign. Leave them the fuck alone.
No means no. We should not have to say more than that. No means no, and your assumptions are just that, your own. So anyways, we are pissed off and almost done, I think. So
I think we've covered basically most of what happened.
I hope so. I'm honestly fed up with just people acting inappropriately, whether it's book organizers, whether it's these attendees. I don't care who the fuck it is. Y'all need to act like you were raised. And maybe some of you were not raised properly, and that's a whole separate other therapy issue. But here's the thing. In basic kindergarten and first grade, you were taught to not take shit that wasn't yours. You were taught not to touch stuff that wasn't yours. So why would you think this is okay
We were
now? I
told when
don't
we were little,
understand.
don't put your hands on folk.
Yeah, exactly. So, anyways, what happy notes can we try to end this on? Because I swear, I'm over people acting inappropriate. But anyway, sorry, Sinners and Stardust. I will say, Sinners and Stardust, you guys were the belle of the balls. You tried your best. I appreciate you. I appreciate what you did.
And we appreciate that you're taking
yeah.
action against people like this to make sure they
And-
don't ruin everybody's good time again. And so your cosplayers and narrators and authors feel safe.
And I definitely want to say that if I can afford it, 2027, Sinners and Stardust, I hopefully will be there. I hope. Cross my fingers.
We're going to just put that in the zeitgeist. The two of us will be there most likely in 2027 because the podcast will be bigger.
But we're definitely going to be at, what convention are we going to be at, Crystal?
Well, I know right now we are going to AuthorCon in Tennessee.
Yes, we are.
That is the first one on the list where we'll both be out. I am going to another book event in Pennsylvania, which I will be talking about when it gets closer to the time of the event. I'm not going to do it now because it's a little too early.
Well, I'm just saying, I'm really excited. I'm really excited about this event because me and Crystal have been talking to the lovely host of AuthorCon, which is Lindsay, our lovely little spine bookshop. And I was talking to her because I mentioned, I don't know, this isn't for sure, you guys, this isn't for sure. But I had mentioned, because she has a podcast and we have a podcast, so I was like, oh, we should do like a co-podcast there. So we might be doing the co-podcast there, Crystal.
Yeah, you mentioned that to me, and I am excited because I think that would be a very good thing for us to do.
Yeah, I can't wait. I'm really excited. This will be my first.
Well, that's because Lindsay knows what the hell she's doing with events.
I know, right? Oh yeah, no. Lindsay was real quick to be like, anybody does shit, I will be up with because Lindsay is louder than me, and she's a redhead. Like no, y'all should learn. Don't fucking mess with redheads, man. They don't play.
Oh yeah, she will take them out. She made that very clear, and we just applauded her when she said it.
Yeah, so basically, we're really excited. We can't wait till we get to that convention. And overall, I think, I appreciate that this convention tried. I really love that they tried. And unfortunately, it was the attendees kind of fucked this one up. But it wasn't
all the attendees. I will say the majority of attendees were good. It was the select few who always want to ruin everybody's good time.
And there were, I will say, sorry, I should say to the readers who were talking about how kind of upset and appalled they were, I appreciate that you guys, for the people who didn't try to make excuses, I appreciate that. I appreciate that you tried to express your sympathy, express your support for these people.
Yeah, and many of them were even trying to find, the people who wanted to be bad faith.
Yeah, so I appreciate you guys because we know it's not all of you. We know it's just some of the bad apples. But the problem is there is a 20% portion of book talk that is bad apples, and you guys need to be better.
You guys need to go create your own raunchy space away from us because we have made it clear we want to have fun, but we're not trying to go against the articles of consent.
Yeah, so definitely just learn the lesson. No means no, don't touch. And also come to AuthorCon for Tennessee because me and Crystal are going to be there.
You guys stay away, but everybody who wants to have fun and love
You're not invited.
Come to AuthorCon.
But also, am I allowed to bring? Lindsay did say I'm allowed to bring glitter. I'm just putting that out in the universe.
Are you allowed to bring what?
Glitter.
Ask Lindsay if you're allowed to. I don't know.
I did.
When we are there, I'm going to be wearing a mask and a fancy ballroom dress, and I doubt she'll stop me.
I know. Damn it, Crystal. I don't have anything fancy. Damn it, I'm going to have to buy something fancy.
Go on TikTok shop like I did and get yourself an extreme amount of fancy dresses.
Okay,
guys, this is just a fun fact about me. I am a masked author, so at every event you will see, I will have my Chinese fan and I will be wearing a fancy ball gown and wearing a mask.
I need to bring a fan with me. I gotta have a fan too.
Now you're just ripping me off.
Look, okay, to be fair, I actually have a Chinese fan on my wall right now. I do love fans. I've loved fans since I was a kid. So technically, I've always loved that. And I think I'm older than you, so technically I did it first. But I will need to, I guess I will need to up my gear and wear something fancy.
Maybe you should find some fancy happy horns to wear at the event.
I do need happy horns. Oh my god, I'm gonna have to find happy horns. If you guys don't know, I have on TikTok, I have happy horn videos where if I'm really pissed, I put on the happy horns because they're colorful. They cheer me up. I'm gonna have to get happy horns just
But
in
we can have
case.
happy horns for happy events, not happy horns to keep you from being too angry.
I do have an amethyst tiara though. I could, or not tiara. It's a little amethyst crown. I'll bring that with me too. I'll wear my
You can
amethyst
do
crown.
that. You can have your crown. I'll have my mask.
Totally. Okay, you guys. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. Please like this video. Please share. Please subscribe.
Comment.
Please subscribe and comment. We love you. We want to meet you. Also, we have a TikTok ATPT podcast on TikTok, and or Ask the Pages Turn. I think I forget what the name of it. I'll link it down below. We always link down below. Please go there. We have shorts on there. We also have we might have 1 a.m. rant videos. I'm not going to say anything. Anyways,
yes, Miss 1 a.m. rant that I can't pick on because I did the same thing.
That's true. We both have rant videos. So you need to start. You know what? You send me your rant audio, and I'll put it up on the TT because it's only fair.
I need to start doing that. I think I sent it to you to add to our stories, but I need to start just emailing it to you.
Yeah, send it to me. Okay, you guys. Well, anyways, we do have to run. We have been at this now. We're on the second hour. So we love you guys. We appreciate you. Please like, please subscribe, and we will see you next week.
Okay, bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.